Even before the shutdown, food insecurity was an issue for America's military families. 1 in 4 are facing the prospect of not having enough to eat. And now, after 37 days with the government shuttered, it is a full-blown crisis for many service members and their families as they worry that they will not get paid. Several groups coming to the rescue with groceries, but there's a limit to what they can do to help. MFAN launched this grocery support initiative on October 14th. You received 50,000 requests from military families in less than 3 days. That really speaks to the demand here.
It tells us that a lot of military families are really living paycheck to paycheck. And so this need is incredible. We are overwhelmed by the response that we've had, and the stories that we're hearing from families are frankly heartbreaking.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Donald Trump called our troops suckers and losers, and now he's starving them too. The Republican shutdown is about to come to an end, but food insecurity that's been going on for years, especially in the military, has gotten worse.
This isn't just a shutdown thing, right? It's kind of bringing into relief what is a reality for military families, so many military families. What needs to be done about what's really a chronic problem?
We have to look at the pay and compensation of our service members. We know that in the United States, it really requires 2 incomes to sustain a household. But with frequent moves and military spouse unemployment sitting between 21 and 24% for the last 15 years, we know this is a complex issue. Our data show that 51% of military families who had moved in the last 24 months were food insecure. And so while we work at these systemic issues, we as an organization are leaning into the moment because these military families, they cannot wait for the policy change right now. They need groceries.
Young people who've made a sometimes tough decision to leave home to try and elevate themselves out of poverty by joining the military and escaping a life of either selling drugs or working at Walmart to survive are being shit on by their commander-in-chief. This is an ugly situation, and it's affecting morale and military readiness. Above all, it's a betrayal to the men and women who have the courage to put on the uniform and man a post, something that Donald Trump knows nothing about. And that's an absolute disgrace, and people are getting sick of it. A testament to how Americans really feel happened at a football game over the weekend, where the crowd booed the hell out of Donald Trump and Whiskey Pete Hegseth. It was the same reaction that voters had to him about a week ago. I could not even imagine having to take my military oath under this wannabe dictator and imagine the crazy memories those troops are going to have. That was a hell of a way to start your military career. Hell, maybe if they get lucky, Pete Hegseth might do some PT with them before he sends them overseas to fight for Trump's agenda. Think about the precarious situation that our military is in. When you see our troops and their families standing in food lines, it's disheartening. Especially when you remember how MAGA spent the last 4 years gaslighting America that Joe Biden wasn't doing enough for homeless and hungry vets. But this is okay. American values have been turned upside down by these clowns. Think about it. The greatest generation who went to fight against fascism and oppression, against a leader who was hell-bent on destruction, fueled by drugs and paranoia, committing atrocities, scapegoating groups of people, and inflicting suffering on anyone who raised their voices against it. They were up against an evil that would have enveloped the entire world in its grip. Those were our fathers and grandfathers who fought for our freedom. But now Trump has turned the military on our own citizens, and nothing good is going to ever come of that, especially when our troops are hungry, tired, and worried if their loved ones are going to be okay. That type of anxiety is bad for decision making. Trump hates the poor, he hates people of color, and he's got nothing but disdain for the very troops who serve this country. They've bent over backwards to get rid of gay service members and pump Fox-style propaganda into the Pentagon to change the mood. They've even renamed the Department of Defense the War Department. But they're not at war with a foreign enemy. They're at war with us. The enemy isn't overseas. It's sitting in the White House, building a golden ballroom and a bunker with his sidekick Whiskey Pete from the Signal Brigade. They're not preparing to defend freedom. They're preparing to bully civilians, threaten allies, raise prices, cause chaos, and starve Americans. It's a powder keg waiting to explode. CNN's Breonna Taylor spoke with the CEO of the Military Family Advisory Network about what's really happening to military families right now. This group is stepping up, making sure that spouses and kids don't fall through the cracks while their loved ones are deployed or stuck in limbo because of this shutdown. The Military Family Advisory Network is focusing on active duty, guard, and reserve families right here at home because they're the ones that are hit the hardest by canceled drills and missed paychecks. You can send them a donation and support their work. Each box they send out feeds a family of 4 for an entire week and even includes a grocery gift card for what the box can't cover. 50,000 families reached out in less than 3 days. That's not just charity work. That is a lifeline. And you know what this reminds me of? Those wives in that movie about the Vietnam War. The ones in We Were Soldiers who refused to let their neighbors suffer alone. They took it upon themselves to deliver those telegrams in person when someone's husband or son had been killed because they understood what the government didn't. Family takes care of family. That's unit cohesion. That's loyalty. That's what keeps a military strong when everything else breaks down. Now imagine the opposite of that, Trump. I can't even fathom it, standing there, taking your oath of enlistment under a wannabe dictator while his drunk sidekick struts around like he outranks 4-star generals. It's humiliating. It's a slap in the face to every soldier who's ever worn the uniform with pride. It's a betrayal of trust and of duty. And when you fight a court order that demands you feed hungry children and you still refuse, that's not politics. That's evil. Trump went all the way to the Supreme Court begging for permission to keep starving kids hungry. That's who he is. He's the bad guy, the dumb guy, the racist. And sooner his supporters figure that out, the better off this country is going to be. While military families are standing in food bank lines, Trump's out there throwing multi-million-dollar Great Gatsby parties, popping champagne like a damn fool, while Americans are wondering how they're going to feed their children. Food banks that used to get 6 pallets a month are lucky to see 1. More people are hungry. More soldiers are desperate. And this coward's throwing parties while begging Congress to help him not give them food? And then you've got Elon Musk, the guy who killed FEMA, fired 7,000 VA workers, and took billions of government contracts to make himself a trillionaire. He doesn't give a damn about this country or the men and women who protect it. This is betrayal. Leaders feeding themselves while starving the people who actually serve this country. But here's the truth. Veterans see it. Military families see it. The working class sees it. And we're done being silent. Because you can starve people, you can gut the agencies, but you will never cure the American people's will to fight back. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way. What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and thank you so much for watching. If you're into what we're doing here, hit that like button because it really helps. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to Rebel HQ and ring that bell so you never miss an upload. I've also got a playlist with all my videos, so feel free to dive in and catch up. And if you're over the corporate spin and want real people power news, hit that join button and be part of the movement. We could not do this without your support. Seriously, thank you. Stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll see you in the next one. And that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.